Food. Sweetheart, have another whipped cream.
Of the what?
Another whipped cream.
Yeah.
Mm. Berries and fresh whipped cream. Ooh, can't beat it. Fresh sweet French fries. Homemade. Mm.
You want some more whipped cream?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to charge you for it.
How much is that?
It's $2.
No, forget about it. But
All right.
you know what you can bring me? A box and a bag and a coffee to go.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to.
That is good. So here I am eating good in a fancy schmancy place where the rich eat, right? Yep.
One box, one bag, and then I will go get the
You're a princess, a queen. So I've come across over the years, PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. Pretty much everyone on this world is going through that. That's part of the mechanism. Even rich people go through PTSD. My parents, who got to be well-to-do, they weren't rich. And my brother, had the same disease of needing to be rich. And sort of like the Duke, not the king, but the Earl, the Duke. Duke of Earl. And
And I put that lid on there as tight as I could, but
Good.
you might double check it.
Yep, before I rode. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah. We do not live in a land of scarcity. We live in a world of abundance. We make billions of tons of food that we throw away. I mean, this food right here, right, didn't come in late, they would have thrown it away. I used to run restaurants in New York City out of dumpsters of other restaurants. And that's us. Where I was living, it was red line, and there were no supermarkets, not even bodegas. It was like living on Mars. And before we started growing our own food, our own gardens, we would go through the dumpsters, and they would truck it straight to us because the garbage guys had a transfer station in our neighborhood, and they put it there because there was nobody there, and there was so much food that they dropped that the rats were unbelievable. I mean, they were like as big as cats. And we had certain people No, back again. No, I wanted you to go. There's a new channel I found called The Empire Files. This woman runs it, and she's really, as great as gracefulness. That's another great thing. And the couple that runs Truth Stream media, very amazing, right? And True Stream Media has done a great job on going through the history of MK Ultra and mind control. Well, there has been mind control all the way back to Samaria and further. Huh? But you have to realize that pretty much all religion is a business plan. It's there to control the masses, right? Some religions are better, not better, but try to give the general public, like Buddhism and Vishnu and Shintoism, they try to take the ego out of the equation. And well, it's up to us to understand what our own individual life is. Right? Well, today was garbage day for me. I had a friend of mine who's sick, and so he can't. So I went up to his place, got all his garbage. Plus, if I didn't, his dogs would get into it and be a mess. So did that. And so I stopped at the transfer station near the Deep Green, about 15 miles from this place. And that's why I came here, because it was halfway between here and there. And I wanted to talk to you guys. And have my nice rich person meal. You know, $14 for fresh berries that they actually cook up for me so I can eat them. You know, so there's a lot. Freshly made whipped cream, freshly made croissants they make here, out of a can that they make, egg and cheese, and all the love I can drink, and a big thing of French fries, $14. That's two tip. And I get to talk to you guys. So, you have to realize what you're told, Donald Trump going on, USA, USA. Up until Teddy Roosevelt, the United States was called the United States, or the Union, or the Republic. They never called it America. It wasn't until we had the Spanish-American War where we took over almost half the landmass of North America, of the United States, our traditional cutout. We got a chunk of Mexico that made Texas and California bigger. We got the Philippines, we got Hawaii, Alaska, and all these islands. We wrote this law that anything that had bird poop on it, we could, and it was abandoned. We could take the islands all through the Pacific, the Marianas, Midway, and that's where we started putting bases. Right? We have over 1,000 bases. There are about 900 on the books, another 200 that are lax sites. But Tierra Diego, or it's that one thing kind of, in the Indian Ocean. England kind of had it and gave it to us, and we put a gigantic air base and naval base, and it's up to 3,000 people. And England just spattered them all over the place, right? In England and this is the Empire. So that lady who runs the Empire Files, go watch her videos on YouTube. Amazing. Right? There's a book called The Imperial America that she interviews a guy with very good sub. And another one, Giants, who really runs the world. And there are 17 people who have more money, more control, more power than half of the population of the world. They have more money, more power than 3.5 billion people. And you have to realize who really runs the show? Not government, transnational banking, investment. And the investment houses aren't even banks. They take our money and then they put it into corporations. And why is the stock market going through the roof? Because, first of all, in '08, collapse, we gave close to $23 trillion of your money to the banks. They never paid back. And they gave them to corporations. And those corporations, like Ford and General Motors and petrochemical folk, and they they didn't invest it. They didn't give it to the workers. They didn't help the people, so they got with their mortgages. No, they bought their stock back, and that's why the stock market went through the roof. So, when Harrod Boy talks about best economy ever, not really, because you have to put that kind of into context. He puts nothing into context. But he's done worse, and what's going on in the Senate is showing you, the citizen, what a scam our government is. With 9/11, Patriot Act, the MDAA, and a score of other things, we don't have a constitution anymore. People are just satisfied with wearing this hat. USA, USA. So, a number of people have seen this channel and told me their story. And they're victims of one way or another of mind control. But pretty much, if you're a smartphone, you're a victim of mind control. Yeah? If you believe in a religion, in a political structure, in a cultural dynamic, you're mind control. Yeah? If we believe that anything we're experiencing is real, you're mind control. You're a puppet. And your children are puppets. Their children are going to be puppets. There's this little virus in China. It's probably way worse than SARS. But because they have closed down 2 provinces that have populations of 20, 30 million people. Northern California. Can you just see if they had quarantine in California, what that would do? And when they had SARS, they were kind of on the down low about it. But they're being a little more transparent, but the other powers should be. Powers that shouldn't be. And so I want to know your experiences. How you've been mind controlled. How you've been black hole. How you've been oppressed. How you've been experienced PTSD. I mean, my family. My dad was a bird colonel. My mom was a triple. My dad was a triple Virgo. My mom was a triple Capricorn. Control freaks like you couldn't believe. And all my brothers and sisters would, well, I'm not going to do that. And I'd have these tremendous fights and screaming and yelling. My parents would tell me to do something. I said, sure, right away, go then go up and do whatever I got. They never checked up. I never got in trouble. I never lied, shield, or steal, because those are useless things to do. And the stuff I did do, people go, what? So, that's where it's at. So there's enough for everybody. But the 2,000 people rule this world. Own it, rule it. They're the people at Davos, they're the people in Petersburg, they're the people in the Trial Commission. And there's something really rewarding. It goes back to my dog, so to lick the ball. Do. These are really good French fries. I'm going to give you a lot of them. Still got another whole plate here, so I'm going to eat those. These I'm going to put in the bag. Take with me. So, I want to know what's going on in your lives. So I can give you some assistance. A number of people who have been really messed with. Your grandfather was in the military and experimented on in the 1940s or 30s. And then their children were experimented on. And then they ended up going in the military. And then the grandchildren. And then the great-grandchildren, that's the ones who contact me now. And they're between 25 and 40. And this kind of experimentation used to be called eugenics. In America, where do you think the Nazis got all their ideas? From us. Before we purchased Louisiana Purchase, everything west from Mississippi was called the Indian Territories. Right? They pushed all the indigenous folk from Maine to Mississippi. And that's what the Trail of Tears was. And we gave them, this is all going to be our land, right? And then after the Civil War, we passed these laws that we could make states that had rules. And part of it was there had to be more white people than anybody else. If it was just only Indians, they couldn't become states. That's why Puerto Rico can't become a state. That's why Alaska and Hawaii could, because there were more white people. So that's why Oklahoma was like one. It was almost a state for 60 years, but there weren't enough white people. So to become a state. Until down oil and a few other resources there, that became a state. So if you go to that Empire channel, the Empire Files, and go watch the video, The Imperial America. And they didn't use the term America until we started having, more than half of what the United States was islands and properties all over the world. Philippines, how much bigger Texas? That used to, that could have been like Hawaii, could have become, but there weren't enough white people. So go study that. So that one book, The Imperial America, that's a lady who runs the Empire Files, does a great job interviewing that guy. Instead of reading the 600-page book, you get the story from these guys in 20 minutes. The other great book is Giants, Who Really Rules, right? And that guy, well, his book is really great. That interview is also really, really great. And it basically shows, we are kind of where France was during Louis. 70% of the human race lives on $20 a day. 1.8 billion people live on 40 cents a day. And yet we have more, we can feed everyone. In the corporate structure, they'll make money to do that. So they don't do it. They'd rather throw the food away. So, what do you guys think? All three of you. And Truth Stream Media, very good. Like they really have covered the mind control thing and really, that's what 5G is about. It runs at the same frequency as your brain, and it's at a microwave power, and there's going to be an antenna on every other phone pole on the planet. And we've been dusted with nanoparticles from chemtrails for the last 30 years, and if not longer. And places like California and Australia that have these major fires. If you go look at the Crow House, Max Egan, it really covers that really well. That the chemtrails not only have biologics and these nanoparticles, but aluminum and boron, and a few other metals that, when put together, they make a very explosive, very hot burning material called, which is escaping my mind at the moment. We're going to pop in there. And they use it to cut steel beams, which is like in 20 seconds, it'll cut a 20-foot, we'd have to be there with the torch. And thermite, is what it's called. So they've been spraying this stuff down in California and Australia, which are areas. So it goes down, and then the leaves and the twigs go on top of them, and another layer, it's like a multi-layer cake. And then they drop these little golf balls that, when hit with microwave, burst into flame. So they have a drone fly over and pop these little balls out, and they just sit there, inanimate until they're hit with high energy microwave, and they burst into flame. And they burn hot enough to set the layer cake of the thermite chemtrails ablaze to the point where it burns like it's not some laser beam from space. Not to say they don't do that, but this is a lot more down low and cheaper and easier to do. So, and why they do this is that they want to depopulate these zones. And these aren't urban areas they want to depopulate. They want to depopulate the rural areas and put everyone into cities. And if you've seen Steven Spielberg's movie Player One, that's a heads up. Steven Spielberg is like our generation's version of H.G. Wells and George Orwell. So it's 1984, War of the Worlds. We're just, MK Ultra kind of mined to get the public ready for what's coming. And all these folks belong to secret mystic organizations. Right? And all the fathers and mothers of science from the Enlightenment on all belonged to mystic schools. And if we go to another person you guys need to go to, is Dark Journalist, and he has his X series. So go watch his X series. They're very informative about who killed Kennedy. He interviews people like Catherine Austin Fitz. Go read her books. Go give her $30 and get on her podcast, and she sends her really great information. And a guy named Joseph Farrell. He's another person who Dark Journalist interviews. And Joseph has a whole, from the Babylon bankers all the way through the Nazis, all the different mystery schools, all of history. And Joseph Farrell was quite a scholar, quite an interesting guy. Well, it's 2:00, give or take. There's my French fries. Unless you guys come online, start talking, I'm going to be on the way. Those French fries were good. So rich people, I have 2 cheeseburgers, French fries, and a Coke. It's Burger King. It would almost be what this costs. And the quality here is rich people quality. You go to Publix or Ingles or Kroger's, especially in a town that has a larger population, like a town like Roanoke. And they have, 10 to 20 Kroger's in the Salem, Roanoke, Benton, the surrounding area, Roanoke County. And there are poor people Kroger's, middle class Kroger's, and Michigan Kroger's. Michigan Kroger's food much better, more fresher, cans aren't tempting, and everything is 10 to 20% cheaper than at the middle class and the poor people. The poor people, they keep, vegetables start wilting, they send them to the poor people. So,
I will take that.
you can take it. Go ahead. Good coffee. So, hi, good day, good morning, good evening. This is just a reminder that you're watching Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. Hi, I am Sensei Al Bob, your griot. What is a grandson who tells your story? What have I done for the last 30 minutes and 30 seconds? To tell you a story. Kind of what's going on. Like the Holy Book. Story based on kind of what went on. But it's up to you. You need to think with your heart as I tell you these things. If you feel it here, like, wow, sounds real. Well, that's where you got to listen. You got to listen with your heart, right? And Tracy Walsh, do you know anything about becoming a monk? Yeah, I'm a monk. You're looking at him. Yeah. So there's a religious monk, a religious order, right? And that's like if you went to work for IBM, you would become, if you were a programmer, for IBM, you would become a monk for IBM. That means when what a monk does, it turns his brain off to anything except the the corporate word. For the monk of the Catholic Church, and they had different orders. They just didn't have. Right? They had the Jesuits and the Franciscans. They had lots of others. They had the Maryknoll, who were really great. Maryknolls really, really served the people, whereas the others served the money, served the power. And then you had the guys, who were the bloodthirsty monks, had the cross on the thing and went off to fight in the Middle East. Started with a T, I forget the name of those guys. So there are all these different sects, right? And in every religion, there's all these different sects. And they just, protect their political, economic strata, And all of these different, the higher level of Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they all kind of connect. They go to their little secret parties. So now, if you want to serve love's co-creation, you could be a monk doing that. And what you do is you think with your heart and not with your head. Right? Your head is just basically a squirrel in a cage. That's your brain. It's not who you are. It's not your soul. It's none of the above. It's just like, in the internet, they have these different nodes that parse information here, there, and everywhere else that control the system. And that's your brain. It's running your body, your avatar, your bag of water, right? And I'm a shamanic, psychosocial, cultural, forensic, anthropologic alchemist. That alchemy, what is that alchemy? Oh, turning base metals into gold, right? Well, right now, lead's more expensive than gold, so no, but our base metals is this, our body. I mean, we're just a bag of water with some trace elements. And we have this free will that's in some server someplace else. This, our soul isn't in this. This is just, like when the Klingon, somebody dies, they yell, and then the body, they just leave it there on the sidewalk. Right? So to be a monk, you have to put your ego aside, right? And serving any religion, any political order, anything, is a very limited dynamic. But if you serve love's co-creation, if you're there to every day and every way take the piece of the earth and make it stronger, and that's all you do. That's what all I do, Meaning, I've had many opportunities to join the club. Never allowed myself to be written in, right? Had many a times where I was making a lot of money, right? But I didn't, money to me at that time was just a tool. It wasn't my life. My father, my brother, and a few other people I know well in my family, it's all about the Benjamins, And, they'd sell their kids for, a parking spot and a Porsche, which most people would do who live in the material world. So Tracy, that was a good start. Do I know anything about becoming a monk? Okay, I just told you. And monks, you can, Jesus, when he basically before he my nephew wants to quit college and become a monk as 18 years old. Well, depends on what he, like I said, what order he joins. And I never allowed myself to be written in. Right now, being a monk who loves co-creation, well, but if you're 18, you pretty much don't know what's going on. And before you sign yourself, once you become a monk, you pretty much sign yourself over. It's like joining the army. You got to do what they tell you. So he wants to be totally owned, totally controlled, totally mind screwed. Well, that's what being a monk is, right? And good luck with that. But if he tries to serve something, the only thing that exists, Tracy, you need to have your nephew watch some of these shows. I have over 1,000 of them. He could, tell him to go get a dartboard and throw darts and get 3 numbers and then watch that show, right? And that will connect him more spiritually than joining any religion. Do you know what religious order he wants to hook up with, Miss Tracy? Arr. Do 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 do. Ba ba ba. Dee dee dee. Do 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 do. Boo boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Oh. And when I was 14, I guess, I had a godfather who was a cardinal, right? Cardinal Cushing. He was the first Catholic priest to, Father Cogman went on the radio. You should go listen to some of his rants on the radio. And he was in Congress too. And they were part of the Nazi Party in America. And so I had a bishop who wanted me to be a rocket scientist for the Pope. And I got sent off to a seminary called Canterbury in Connecticut, in New Milford, right? And I'm still infamous because they had slaves there. They had people who were indentured servants who had been there for generation after generation and couldn't get out of it. And ma'am, how far is Kroger's that away?
Oh, it's not very far at all.
It's like 2 lights or so, right?
Uh,
Kroger's?
I think it's just 1 light.
1 light, just like a mile and a half.
Yeah, like you can see it from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just up the hill.
It's just like around the bend.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
On the left.
Right. Yep. Okay. Wants to go to Thailand. Oh, and to be a Buddhist. Well, Buddhism's cool, but you also have to realize, what Buddhism is also as deadly as. I mean, look, the Buddhists in Myanmar, what they've done. Killed millions of people because they're Muslims. And I don't think Buddha would have liked that one. Buddha's teaching, it's like someone once asked Gandhi what he thought of Jesus. And Gandhi said, Jesus is a great guy. I love that guy. It's just his followers that I have a problem with. And that's usually the case because the followers are mind controlled. And any dogmatic religious thing, and the teachings of Buddha are not dogmatic. Teachings of Jesus, not dogmatic. The teachings of Moses, dogmatic beyond belief. But the guy who came before Joshua, no, he was like Jesus. And I think Jesus came from that tree. I think Mary did too. So it's like Mary and Jesus, Magdalene, came from that tree. They were like, hooking up cousins. Right? And Jesus basically said, I don't want any church in my name. I don't want any I don't want any orthodoxy. I don't want, women should be as, embraced, because his real inner circle wasn't those 13 morons. No. It was Mary Magdalene's girls. Like when you ever see a religious painting of Jesus up on the cross, his boys ran away. The girls are totally encircled around and praying with beatific books on their face, right? So, you need to tell your nephew Tracy that he should go to Thailand, but not and don't become a monk. Become a novitiate, meaning that's like way below. It's like the training thing, and he'd probably have to go in there. And he should keep his heart open. Should think with his heart, not his mind. Don't let himself get programmed, because that's what they'll do. They'll program you, right? Every monastic group and monastic monks. And so, if he's been watching, kung fu and seeing all those guys in the orange robes, I'll tell you a good monk story. So I was living in Asheville, North Carolina, from 91 until 98. And so I was the dude there where, kids get a hold of me at the dude awake 42 at Gmail. And the dude awake was, I was the dude in Asheville, between 91 and 97. And so I had a girlfriend who was really sweet and really hot and really smart. She was a shrink, and I was a shrink, but I didn't practice. She did. And but she got thrown a bit and became agoraphobic. Would never leave her house. And some mutual friend hooked us up, and so I knew this guy named Dr. Stephen Greer, Mr. Flying Saucer, who was an emergency doctor. I knew him, and he had this big house out there in Madison County, and he had the homeboys built it. It was like falling apart already. It was his version of the Biltmore house. Anyway, he told me, if I could go out there and get everything working, I could stay there as long as I wanted. He had a calling since he was 13. He meditates a lot. Okay, well, meditating is good, but does he go into state? Does he, again, Tracy, you should tell him to go watch my channel. And there's probably, out of that 1,000 shows I have, there's probably 100 where I do guided meditations. Tracy, have you been part of my guided meditations? Tracy, have you watched how many of the shows on here, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob, have you watched? Have him come and watch those. Have him get a hold of me at the Dude Awake 42 at Gmail, and I'll talk to him. Because I was a monk. I went to be a Catholic priest, right? And then I was too much like Jesus. I was always working with the poor. They were going, don't do that. You got to work. We want money. Write books. Get us rich. So have you seen any of the guided meditations I've done? Anyway, so I did that. And then a few 10 years later, I was living in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. My landlord was a rabbi. He had Lubavitcher. And I was interested in Kabbalah, and I knew a lot about Kabbalah. And so he used to come and talk to me. And so he said, you need to be a rabbi. And I said, Rabbi, I'm Roman Catholic, I'm Irish, I'm German, I'm Italian, I'm not Jewish. And he goes, well, no one's perfect. And he would let me study to be a rabbi. That's where I learned Hebrew and German. And when I was beat up by a Catholic nun in first grade, I went to school for 2 years with a Marino crew who were, scholars. They didn't run a Catholic school. They had this place in Garden City, Long Island, big, beautiful house, and they studied things and wrote stuff. And I was there, like to be protected. My cardinal godfather stuck me there so I would be protected, right? And these guys taught me psychology, taught me, trigonometry, taught me anthropology, taught me forensics, taught me sociology and political science, And so when I went on to become a scholar in universities, I had bedrock. I learned Latin and Greek there, so I showed up, could, you know, in universities in my 20s and 30s, and could speak Hebrew, German, Latin, and Greek, and people were, ooh, and I knew, trigonometry, which is, you know, all of math. The only real math there is Euclidean geometry. The rest is a joke, and so it's a scam. You know, it's like fake news. It's just to prove something that can't be proved, and that's what science is. It's bull pucky, right? Science. It's like there is no real discipline in any of those sciences, especially the joke sciences of things like Egyptology. Give me a break. You have to have an open mind, and so if your nephew has got a closed mind, well, he'll make a good, murdering mercenary. I mean, just look what the Catholic Church did through Africa. Look what all of the Christian religions did in Asia. You know, so good luck for your nephew, and he will. So if he's going to study Buddhism, the main thing is about your karma. So if he goes there and drinks the Kool-Aid, his karma is going to be, whoa, baby. I do what I do because I've died, physically died, saw the bright light, went to the other side. Oh, good. I can relax. No, you got to go back. You haven't finished your job. You promised to do X, Y, and Z, and you're doing a great job. We always got your back. But why is it so tough? Well, we didn't say it was going to be easy. We just said we got your back. So, and they do. They always got my back. When you serve something higher than yourself, like love's co-creation, which is the only thing that exists, everything else is an illusion. And if if your nephew studied Buddhism clear enough, you would see that Buddha talks about the same thing. Buddha was Jesus. Buddha was Vishnu. Buddha was all of these same characters, right? So, and your nephew, you really can't help him. He has to make up his own mind. So the best thing you can do is say, hey, this is Guy, Sensei Al Bob. And you can talk to him go to the dude awake 42 at Gmail. And, guys, you need to, more thumbs up and, put, more, comments on these pages, get more people to watch it, slowly, but now we have 350 plus subscribers. It'd be nice if there were 1,000. A lot of people who have big time shows contact me. Wow, you're doing a great job. Just keep it up, kid. So, and again, a week from today will be February 1st, and then we will have 11 months of a window of opportunity. And nature hates a vacuum. And as that window gets smaller and smaller, more of a vacuum occurs. So we have this real great opportunity if we were to, in every day and every way, take the piece of the earth and make it stronger. But if we just put our head in the sand and keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, ooh, and it's already happening. I mean, we had an earthquake here. I'm right between the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Appalachian, the bedrock of the oldest mountains on the planet. We had an earthquake here. Never had. We're about, 600 miles from Madras Fault. But what the little earthquake we had rang the Madras Fault. We had one earthquake here, and it caused 6 earthquakes in the Madras Fault. Now there's a caldera there. Now if that sucker opens up, it'll make a volcano, the size of Houston, Texas, right? And eject enough of the mantle into the upper atmosphere to cause, forget about global warming. We will have, how did North America get 2 miles of ice on top of it? Because the Madras Fault opened up and caused, a basic, what they call a nuclear winter, and everything froze, and it froze like that, meaning up in Alaska and other places, they find these woolly mammoths. They still got like little, daisies in their tummy, meaning they were eating a, a warm neck of the woods, palm trees, like Florida kind of, thing. And they're turning. It's a subtle thing to get out. Let's see. I'll do it for another 10 minutes. Anyway, so not too subtle, are they? Get out. Arr. So anyway, maybe I'll leave. This is subtle enough for me. I'll ask them. And industry. The seminar. Anything else anybody wants to say?